The announcements have been coming thick and fast for Xbox as of late, and yesterday at the Idea Xbox Showcase, we saw another 22 games coming to Xbox rather soon, with over half of them also coming to Game Pass as a day one release. Xbox have really been on a roll lately with brand new games, and a few of these I personally can't wait to dive into before the end of this year. So with that, my name is Fletcher, and this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive right into the new games coming our way. First up, we have AGNI Village of Calamity, and it's an Indonesian survival horror game that looks interesting for its early Resident Evil influences, but it's really got stuck in my head though for specifically evoking Resident Evil 7's intimate human threats. In this one, you of course play as AGNI, an Indonesian cop who's basically gone rogue to explore a remote village, and of course, that's where the bad things really do start happening. It looks cool and insanely creepy, and it's gonna still be a hell nah from me, as I don't think I can really stomach the scares here. If you are interested though, it does come to Xbox sometime in 2026. Our first Xbox Game Pass announcement came in the form of Darkwood 2, and I know that many fans were actually incredibly hyped to know that we're getting a sequel to this indie darling. One intriguing aspect is that it's actually got a surprise new developer this time around. The original creator, Acid Wizard, and publisher Hooded Horse have basically brought in the pathologic developer Ice Pick Lodge to do all of the work, and so far it looks pretty spot on. This sequel will move the action away from its murky and foreboding forests to instead parched lands of a dying sea, spreading the playing area across deserts, swampy marshes, and deeper waters, and is where anything might actually lurk. This dramatic change in biome though actually brings new sights to see and some new creatures for us to fear and also face. Don't get put off by the art style or isometric view though, as this one is an incredible indie that deserves all of its attention. A huge game announcement that has me quite intrigued, even though I don't know if I can actually handle it, is called Don't Fret. This is a stylized first-person psychological mascot horror game that is set within a musically themed world. You play as a guitar named Threat to solve puzzles, escape foes, and uncover the mystery behind Harmonic Heights. The trailer we also saw last night revealed the Don't Fret's voice cast, including the likes of Amanda Hufford, Dapper Mr. Tom, Ghostlike, and more. For me personally, I have absolutely no clue who any of these voice actors are, but I'm sure that some of you will let me know in the comments below. Don't Fret though will arrive on Xbox sometime in 2026, and if you want a horror game to dive into, then this is easily going to shoot to the top of your wish list. Serenity Forge is a studio that is known a lot for its visual novels, with Doki Doki Literature Club being the most popular out of them all, but they came out with a brand new announcement at this showcase. Puppergeist is their newest entry, and it looks to tell a bittersweet story about unconventional love that's shared between humans and their pets. You basically follow a girl named Claire, who is a young witch that's searching for a lost dog in the mysterious doggy underworld, and along the way she will of course meet other canine spirits, listen to their stories, and just help them find peace through rhythm-based minigames. I won't lie, I have absolutely no interest in this one, and I bet many of you are probably feeling the same. However, I know these sorts of games do garner quite a big audience. If you do want to dive into this one though, we unfortunately don't have a solid release date, so I assume it will be sometime in 2026. 33 Immortals was easily one of my favourite indie games of the past year, and I'm so happy to see we've got a brand new update which is finally launched, and it is free for all Xbox Game Pass users or game owners as of today. If you're unfamiliar with this one, it basically throws 33 players into chaotic, beautifully orchestrated battles where they pick up weapons on the fly and then cut through swarms of monsters and take down some pretty cool and epic towering bosses. The new update though, which has now landed, includes some extra weapons, some brand new challenges, and that's all alongside new chamber objectives for us to dive into. What's lovely is that the developers are always making so many tweaks and balance improvements to really make the game better in every single way, and I have to say from my own personal opinion, it's got way more content than it launched with. If you do want to check out my personal review on this one, you can with the link below, but you can dive into it right now with Xbox Game Pass. One game that caught my eye is called Alwaysis, and it's being touted as the ultimate dungeon crawler. This one is set on a sunlit floating temple under siege by dark forces, blending the charm of classic 90s JRPGs with the power of Unreal Engine 5. It is said to be designed for 1 to 4 players, and it promises fast-paced co-op chaos across ever-changing battlegrounds. The latest trailer, which I've been showing you on screen right now, basically shows its energetic combat and vibrant surreal environments, and it kind of teases a game that thrives on spontaneous moments and a lot of laughter. I do love though that the physics system is being implemented as the main focus to the combat, and it really is going to add some massively wild moments. It looks great from what I've seen so far, and again it comes to day one to Xbox Game Pass in the near future. I never expected a free-to-play dark fantasy RPG to be here, but here we are. This one though is called Ungodly, and it's coming from the creator of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I think one bit of dismay across many of us is that this one is going to be a mobile game first and foremost, so don't ever expect expect a graphically intensive game out of the gates. The slated release is also currently standing as Q1 2026 for mobile, while console and PC players will get their hands on it a little bit later on this year. Although it's fairly uninspired in terms of its name, it gives me sort of Genshin Impact meets Dark Fantasy vibes, and I suspect it might actually be quite popular. Judging by the trailer, you can also switch between characters mid-combat to make use of the various skills to essentially vanquish your foes. If this one's your bag and you like those gadget elements, then make sure to keep your eye on this one for some time later next year. We also had an awesome new look at Planet of Lana 2, and this has easily become one of my most anticipated indie games of 2026. In this Xbox indie, we will once again join Lana and her lovable companion Mui on another adventure that takes them into the depths of Novo, where an ancient mystery really unfolds. As the pair explores the depths, a new threat will put their special bond to the test and will really force Lana to confront her destiny. The first Planet of Lana is a cracking little puzzle platformer, and it really went down a storm when it came to Xbox Game Pass on day one in 2023. The sequel sounds much more the same though, but with some brand new and expanded gameplay mechanics, which is kind of what I exactly want from Planet of Lana 2. Roll on 2026 though, as this one hits Game Pass as a day one release. One of the games announced during this summer's Xbox showcase was Don't Nod's upcoming title named Aphelion. In this one, it follows two astronauts who, under mysterious circumstances, suddenly crash land on an unexplored planet. If that wasn't bad enough, it actually turns out it hosts another life form that's seemingly hostile. During last night's Idea Xbox showcase, we got another look at the game, and it's looking even more incredible than I ever expected. The new look at Aphelion has basically shown us a new creature named the Nemesis, which is stalking both astronauts who cannot fight back. The gameplay will consist of the need to hide and move stealthily to essentially avoid detection, and that's all alongside all of the platforming, exploration and survival elements which will come into play. This one again will arrive day one onto Xbox Game Pass sometime in 2026. Just when I think I couldn't love Vampire Survivors any more than I usually do, they've gone and done it again. Over the past few days, the studio has now dropped multiple surprise updates and announcements, including a free Balatro collaboration and also an expansion to the Castlevania expansion. Update 1.14 is now live on PC with a very small delay to Xbox, and we should receive it by the end of this week. It's essentially bringing with it a Balatro-inspired mini DLC called Ante Chamber, plus new stages, Mazzarella and Westwoods, online co-op, and a mountain of secrets. All of this is free, though you will need to own Ode to Castlevania to access the new bonus content. Are you still playing Vampire Survivors? I would be keen to hear if you are in the comments below. Also, whilst down there though, do make sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying this so far, and please also do hit that subscribe button. At the moment, over 68% of you are not subscribed, and I would love you to join our ever-growing community. It's free to do so, and it massively helps as we grow closer to being the de facto Xbox channel here on YouTube. Thanks so much again for your support, and let's dive back into the games coming our way. Last week, developer Bohemia Interactive announced the third major expansion for their open-world survival horror game named DayZ. Dubbed Badlands, players will be taken on a tour through scorching heat of Nezdara province, where water sources are as common as friendly survivors. Well, in some great news over the past 24 hours, we now had the confirmation that Badlands will be arriving onto Xbox Game Pass day one at launch, which has many fans really excited. To give some more insight, DayZ Badlands basically introduces the largest official map in the game's history, with an enormous size of 267 kilometers squared. It is also said that every inch of this land will tell stories of failed invasions, abandoned cities, and the silence that follows decades of war. It sounds pretty great, and I for one will definitely be diving into this new expansion once it launches onto Xbox Game Pass. Pathia Games, the studio that's known for games like My Time at Portia and also the upcoming My Time at Evershine, have basically shadow dropped something you would never have expected from them. You may remember a game named Knockout City or even Psionic's release of Rocket League, but we have a new contender within that niche called Superball, which is a new free-to-play 3 vs 3 arcade hero football game that's actually out as of right now. Superball though is actually being described as a mashup between Rocket League and Overwatch with its hero character elements. You can play as one of 17 characters that each slot into one of 3 categories, that being goalkeepers, midfielders and also forwards. As I mentioned, it is free to play, but we are getting some lovely benefits for being Xbox Game Pass subscribers, but we will have to wait and see if this becomes another must-play free game on the Xbox Marketplace. The highly anticipated Sledding Game is finally coming to Xbox Game Pass. The developer, that's known as the Sledding Corporation, has confirmed that the game will launch onto the service as a day one title and will be playable on both the Xbox Series X and S consoles and also PC. If you're unfamiliar with this upcoming game, basically Sledding Game has become a bit of a viral hit over on social media, especially across Instagram and TikTok, with videos for this cozy title gathering millions upon millions of views. Basically, it's a multiplayer hangout game with proximity chat where you control a funky little guy and go sledding. It looks like a wicked time with pals, and hopefully the Sledding Game becomes a massive hit with all of us Xbox gamers. For me personally, I can't wait to dive into it, and I'm hopeful it will come out towards the end of this year or into 2026. It seems that Xbox Game Pass subscribers are really eating well, and we have another day one title hurtling towards the service. We now know the Monsters Are Coming Rock and Road release date, which means we can mark our calendars for this new title when it does join the Xbox Game Pass lineup on the 20th of November. To give you an idea, this one brings us some new roguelike action as we defend against waves of alien monsters. The game certainly has an air of sort of vampire survivors to it, with the hordes of enemies that you'll need to fend off. To keep all of the enemies at bay though, you will need to forage for materials and build defensive structures, and each run will have you pushing closer to reach your goal. To me, this was a real highlight of the entire Idea Xbox showcase, and I will try to have a review up for this one prior to its launch. I might as well keep the Xbox Game Pass announcements flowing, as we have yet another coming from Raw Fury, and it's also landing this year. The roguelike mining adventure, known as Dome Keeper, is digging its way onto Xbox Game Pass starting on the 9th of December, and that's with full Xbox Play Anywhere support and new updates in 2026. This one now combines elements of roguelike survival and respawn management, where you take control of a small base and have to defend it from endless waves of alien attackers. In between the attacks though, you'll be digging beneath the surface of an alien planet to basically recover valuable resources and also relics. This game currently sits at 93% very positive over on Steam with over 9,000 reviews. Safe to say it's going to be a fantastic addition to that ever-growing Game Pass library, and I can't wait to dive into it. Whilst it does feel like it's taken some effort to really get to this point, Routine finally has a release date after 12 long years of us waiting. This exciting Xbox Game Pass horror game is almost upon us, and it's due to bring us to scares this December, and more specifically on the 4th. We didn't really get any other information from this trailer last night other than this. The clips that were quickly shown basically are showing things we've already seen, however this doesn't change how pumped I am for this one. Easily one of my most anticipated Xbox Game Pass releases towards the end of this year, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of horror, it looks so scary and gives me all sorts of Alien Isolation vibes. I really enjoyed my time with Alien Isolation, so I'm hoping this is just going to be more of the same but with even more creepy aesthetics. I honestly can't believe it, but I did mention egging on in my previous video a few days ago now about upcoming Xbox Game Pass announcements, but seemingly out of nowhere, it's now been confirmed to be arriving onto Xbox Game Pass. Of course, as I mentioned, this one is lined up for the 6th of November, and it is in a prime position to be one of the funniest games we've ever received on the service. I did mention it within the last video, but it's heavily reminding me of games like I Am Bread. In this adventure though, you take control of an egg that doesn't want to be brought to a shop or even turned into someone's meal. Instead, it wants to climb to the top of the world. We will have to roll and jump in various themed challenging climbing environments and carefully crafted levels, and that's all whilst not falling to crack yourself into a Slimer yolk. This indie is garnering a pretty sizable audience so far, and I know it will be a very popular one upon its release date. After initially being announced for PC earlier this year, Over the Hill is coming to consoles next year, and this was one game that I always wanted to see on my Xbox console. Whilst an exact release date is still yet to be confirmed, the console versions will arrive after the Steam release next year. This one though takes you across multiple different biomes from alleys to mountains, and new areas are basically unlocked by discovering portals. Then you will have to complete different objectives, and upon doing so you then unlock new vehicles inspired by classic off-roaders. Although the gameplay looks to be a bit more accessible and relaxing than other off-road simulation games such as Mud Runner and Snow Runner, we will still have to battle the elements with realistic terrain deformation, dynamic weather, and day and night cycles. It honestly looks great, and you need to put this one on your radar for some time in 2026. TCG Card Shop Simulator is one of 2024's highest rated simulation games, with overwhelmingly positive reviews over on Steam, and now it's been added to the Xbox Game Pass lineup for 2026. Although this one is still in early access over on Steam, the game appears to be gearing up for its full release sometime next year. The announcement was actually accompanied by a brand new teaser trailer, which is on screen right now, and it really highlights the game's core mechanics centered around building and expanding a trading shop empire. I know simulation games are incredibly popular these days, and to be honest, honest, it seems like we're getting way too many, and some look like pure slop. Of course though, this one is a more popular one, but I would be keen to hear if you're interested in this one in the comments below. Does this look any good, and are you going to be jumping into it sometime next year? Task Time is a game show inspired competitive party game where 8 friends will dive headfirst into 6 rounds of unpredictable tasks and physics fueled chaos, and us all to finish top of the entire leaderboard. From some of the same people that worked on stuff like Gang Beasts and Fall Guys, this is going to be another online co-op hit in the making. It looks absolutely mental, and if we go by games such as Peak, this uncanny art style and witty personality could really propel it to the very top. I think what's cool, and upon me doing some more research, is that this game will actually include Twitch integration features. It is being designed with streamers and their communities in mind, where viewers can actually directly influence the gameplay. I might have to play it on stream when it does come out, and you'll have to let me know your thoughts on it when it lands sometime in 2026. Combining the classic 1930s rubber hose animation, snappy retro gunplay, and modern detective mechanics, Mouse P.I For Hire isn't just a nostalgic throwback, instead is a bold evolution. We finally got a deeper look at what makes this noir-inspired shooter just so special. It is now set for release on the 19th of March as of next year, and has us following war veteran turned private investigator Jack Pepper, and he's juggling 3 distinct cases across the gritty city of Mouseburg. Each mystery can also be tackled in any order, blending combat, exploration, and also clue hunting. From photographing evidence to connecting leads on a classical corkboard, every discovery looks to unlock new paths through 10 handcrafted biomes. This one isn't just going to be a stylish shooter, instead it's going to be a living, breathing mystery that's begging to be solved, and it looks bloody fantastic. What game are you excited for out of these announcements? Are you going to be checking out any of these Game Pass games too? You'll have to let me know in the comments below. Remember to smash the like button, as also subscribe for more Xbox content every single day, and do check out the video on screen now as I covered the 18 terrifying horror games that you must play on Xbox Game Pass in 2025.